So now let's look at shared responsibility model. So like we have in the slide, so Microsoft now have their own responsibility. The customer have their responsibility. Why the shared responsibility means that Microsoft and the customer have their responsibility. Let's start from responsibility transfer to the cloud provider. So we are starting from the bottom. So let's start from the bottom now. So let's take, for instance, now when we say on-prem, it means that the company or the customer, every of their infrastructure, it is local. It is hosted locally in their environment. What do we see here? They are the one managing everything from beginning to the end. They are managing the physical data center. They are managing the physical network. They are managing the physical host. They are managing the operating system and all this, including informations and data. The customer is responsible for managing everything here. So when we now go to infrastructure as a service, that means what does the customer manage? The customer manage their information. When we say information now, Microsoft now, they can't know the users you have. They can't know your information. So, and Microsoft don't want you to come and tell them one day that your information leak. That is why you are solely responsible for your information. Why the next one? Devices. The customer is managing their devices. Why account and identity? The customer is managing it. So the only thing Microsoft is managing for you for infrastructure as a service is the physical host, which means they are giving you the server, they are giving you the network, and they are giving you their data center. That is for infrastructure as a service. That's if you want to subscribe to infrastructure as a service. So these are this is what Microsoft will only do for you. That's why we call it shared responsibility. Microsoft will do their own, you will do your own. But if your own is private, this on-prem now is more or less like private cloud. That means you are the one doing everything. We can see it's not easy. Only you are managing the physical house, you are managing the physical network, you are managing the data center, you are managing the operating system, you are managing network control. So it makes the work cumbersome for even the IT administrators to even do. So for infrastructure as a service now, they are removing this load from you. You are not managing all this. They are managing it on your behalf. Then for platform as a service now, this is where the shared responsibility comes in. Microsoft will help you manage network and control. You also will manage network and control. The application now for platform as a service, what it means is that Microsoft will give, they have already given you the physical host. Now you will not be the one that will come and host your application in the servers that they are giving you. Then identity and directory infrastructure. So let's take for instance now, you want to host an Active Directory environment. That is where identity and directory infrastructure comes in. So Microsoft will give you the rules. You can add that rules and features, but at the end of the day, you are still the one that will create your users. Microsoft will not create the users for you. Then account and identities, you are fully responsible. It's the responsibility of the customer. While for devices and information and data, is fully the responsibility of the customer. Then when we go to software as a service now, Microsoft is doing the physical data center work for you. They are giving you network, they are giving you operating system, they are giving you the application. So this application now that is here is those Microsoft 365 application, is those Google applications such as Gmail and Google Meet. While in Microsoft now, those applications is Outlook, Teams, OneDrive, SharePoint. Microsoft is giving you those applications. You don't need any, you don't even need your own local application except you choose to. But Microsoft are giving you those applications, and the identity and directory infrastructure is also a shared responsibility here. So, but for accounts and identities, you are the one managing it. This question always come out in exam. Microsoft will ask, okay, the account creation, is it managed by Microsoft or managed by the customer? So might be confused, like account and identity, so you're managing it. Microsoft cannot know the account you have. You'll be the one that will create those accounts. So Microsoft has no right to even know your users. That's why sometimes if you make any mistake in your infrastructure, they don't have the power to come and maybe you delete a user now. Maybe for them to come and push that user out, it will be very difficult. Except maybe you are using maybe Microsoft 365. If you delete a user, there is a retention period that, okay, after 30 days, you can always go and recover that user. But if that 30 days expires, That's all. Even if you call them, they will tell you that you deleted it by yourself. So you are solely responsible for account and identities. That's for the customer responsibility. You are responsible for device and PCs. So that's for customer responsibility. So let's look at the comparison. Let's look at the comparison. So compare it now. Let's compare the three. So infrastructure as a service now, the most this one is the most flexible service, because when they say it's flexible, you have the opportunity to do everything you want to do in your local environment. So the next one is you configure and manage the hardware for your application. So Microsoft are giving you their server now. They have given you the host and the data center. All you need to do is to manage it and configure the application the way you want it. So the next one is platform as a service. So platform as a service now, they have given you their data center. You only focus on application and development. Then the platform is handled by cloud provider. So you don't need to manage the platform. They are giving you the platform now, more or less like that service apartment I use. So the matron or the person in charge is the one managing the service apartment for you. So Microsoft now, there is that cloud provider that is managing it for you. Why software as a service? You pay as you go, is a pay as you go model. Example of pay as you go model is, let's say for instance now you buy a Microsoft subscription. So it is monthly. They charge monthly. So every month you pay. Whether you use it or you don't use it, you pay. But if you are using maybe all this, maybe a virtual machine or a storage account, that one is consumption based. You are charged based on what you use. So the next one we go is user pay for the software they use on the subscription model. So Microsoft have different subscription models. So in terms of small business, they have business plans. In terms of big organizations, they have enterprise plan.